right, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of SideQuest Podcast. Listen in and level up. I have a great episode for you today, but first, as always, let's get through the show notes. If you're not following the Facebook page, head over to Facebook, type SideQuest Fitness into the search bar, and like the page. There, you're going to get updates on podcast episodes, articles when they get posted, and you're going to get a brand new taco recipe every Tuesday for taco camp. Plus lots of other shenanigans and nerd talk throughout the week, so make sure you head over to Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is SideQuestFM. If you want to see some cool videos and random stuff on Instagram as well, you can follow me on Instagram. Same handle, SideQuestFM. Or follow me on Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. Send me your questions. I want to get all the questions from you, help you as much as I can on your fitness journey or your journey in life, whatever it may be. But head over to Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. You get a little more personal, in-depth look at the shenanigans I get into throughout every day. But I do love getting questions from the community, so please send them out to me. If you have not left a review for the podcast, please head over to iTunes. If you're not listening on iTunes and you listen on SoundCloud or Stitcher, leave a review there as well. When you leave reviews, it helps me move up the charts on the iTunes store so that more people can see and hear the amazing guests that I've had on and have on each and every single week. So make sure you head over there. And don't forget, if you haven't picked up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss, head over to sidequestfitness.com/7 principles, and you can pick up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss. These are the same 7 principles I follow each and every day and teach my clients to help them shred away more body fat, unlock heroic strength, and just look better naked. So if you want to unlock strength or just look better naked in the mirror, head over again, grab those 7 principles of fat loss, and start following those today. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. So over the last few months, you have heard me talking about my online clients, and you've heard from a few of my online clients as well about what they've done on their fitness quest with me. With summer heading in, I am taking a few more clients on to help people get ready for summer, help you get ready for bikini season or swimsuit season, or maybe this is your first time. Maybe you've decided that that's it. You want to get in shape, and you need someone to help you with your journey. On your journey, you need a Gandalf and a Samwise to guide you as you head into Frodo. And I am your Gandalf and Samwise, all packed in to one. I am taking on a few more clients. If you are interested, head over to sidequestfitness.com/coach and check out the page. You can apply there. You can find out more about what coaching entails and also see some of the amazing transformations that my clients have had while working with me. So head over to sidequestfitness.com/coach and apply today. All right, guys, welcome to the show. I have a great show for you today. I'm going to tell you about the 7 common fat loss mistakes that I made and you probably make. They're common mistakes that everyone makes time and time again, and I made them a handful of times throughout my life while trying to get lean, while working out and going to the gym. And if there's some of the mistakes that you make, I hope that you take this episode and you can learn from it and apply them to your life and stop making those mistakes so that you can start being successful with your fat loss or fitness goals. All right, let's get into the show.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records and with the help of the guests you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key bamf right here. You wanna meet him, there's no better way to greet him than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.
So I almost drop-kicked a professor once in college. And I'm talking like full off the top of the turnbuckle, out for the count, WWE type drop kick. Now look, it didn't have anything to do with grades or some heated discussion or some political ramble or whatever. In fact, actually, that professor was a bit of a mentor, kind of a father figure. He taught me everything I knew and everything I know about hanging and focusing lights in the theater, building sets, welding, all those things. He was a mentor to me. But that didn't stop the fact that I wanted to drop kick him once. See, I went to a private college, and it's expensive. My parents didn't make a lot of money. We weren't rich, but it was a good school and I wanted to go. I felt like that was the place I needed to go. So to offset some of that cost, I did what most students do, and I signed up for the work study program. So that's why I was in the theater, building sets, doing carpentry, learning really cool hands-on skills. So my sophomore year, I guess my professor thought I had learned enough my first year that he gave me a task. My first real task, like that first thing that like a mentor or a coach or your parents give you where you're like, oh my God, I'm like a real grown-up now. He gave me a task and he was like, I want you to build this tower for a production of Sweeney Todd. Now, this was a tower that would come on stage, a character would walk up and she would sing as if she was on a balcony on stage. So it was about 10 feet, maybe 12 feet tall. And for me, this was a vote of confidence in my skills. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. I'm going to make this the best tower you've ever seen. And I spent a whole weekend putting this thing together, cutting the pieces, using the saw, screwing them in, creating stairs. If you've never had to make stairs, it's a crazy process. And building the whole thing, all the stuff that went on the outside that that didn't show the wood, that made it look like an actual staircase or tower. It was awesome. It looked great. And then he inspected it. Robbie? And I could hear this whiff of suspicion in his voice. Why are the stairs on the right side and not the left? Now, see, when he first asked me that question, I was a little pissed. I was like, are you kidding me? I followed the blueprint, the exact blueprint to a T. So whoa, don't ask me that because that's what you drew on the blueprint. Huh, he said. Huh. Two huhs, not something you want to hear out of your mentor or teacher's mouth. Well, shit. I flipped the blueprint around by accident. The stairs are supposed to be on the left side of the tower, not the right. I'm sorry, Robbie, that's my fault. Listen, take it apart, move the stairs to the opposite side. Shouldn't take you long. Okay, now if you don't understand, stairs being on the left and not on the right means I basically have to redo the entire staircase. So half of what I had done was wrong. Now I had to redo the other half. So I'm not lying when I say in that moment, I thought about literally drop kicking him. Shawn Michaels, sweet chin music right to the face. That's what I was thinking about. But you know what? In all the times that I've ever tried to lose weight, all the times you've probably tried to lose weight and improve your health and fitness, you've probably had the wrong blueprint. There are mistakes that we all make, and these are the 7 most common ones that I made. And that I know for a fact my clients have made in the past. That's what they've come to me to fix. And mistakes that I see constantly made by friends on Facebook and people all the time, and in emails that I get from you listeners and people who read the blog. Number 1, the biggest mistake I made was thinking that health food is the best food. I mean, salad is great. Who doesn't love salad? We all think that it's supposed to be healthy, that healthy food is what we're supposed to eat. Chicken, shrimp, ham, veggies, avocado because they say it's good for you, olive oil because it's good for you, organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, all this health food stuff that we're told is great for us. We assume, oh, that's what we're supposed to eat. But here's the thing. You can still gain weight by eating healthy food. Because it comes down to total calorie intake. And that was a mistake that I didn't think about. All I did was eat a salad. And I'm talking like a huge salad. I used to make very, very big salads. There was a great place when I was working for the Census Bureau back in 2010, right after college, that had a healthy chef salad, had ham, had eggs, had a little bit of croutons, lots of lettuce, a little bit of cheese, tons of veggies. And I would work out, and then I would eat that salad at lunch. Now, dinner was a little bit different. My breakfast wasn't really that great either, but I was eating that salad. And I was eating that salad with what I thought was healthy salad dressing. honey mustard. No ranch, no blue cheese, no Thousand Island. Honey mustard. I mean, honey mustard's honey and mustard. Mustard has like no calories. A little bit of honey, just make it sweet. It's fine, right? I wasn't measuring. I wasn't looking. I just thought it was healthy. It was healthier than ranch. Healthier than blue cheese. And you hear things like peanut butter is healthy for you, has protein. Avocados help you burn belly fat. So you eat these things. You eat healthy foods. But they still have calories. And that was the second mistake that I made, thinking that calories don't matter. So let me tell you a little bit about my diet in 2010, just because I remember it very clearly. And it was the time where I thought I was eating healthy, minus breakfast. I was eating healthy and I was working out. I'll come to that later. So I was going to be fine, right? I was totally going to lose weight. What was I eating? I had a sausage and cheese biscuit at breakfast. I had to drive like 40 minutes to work, so I just got something fast food. But sausage, that's protein, right? Yeah, totally. I mean, sausage and cheese, better than cereal. All right, fine, it came with a hash brown. And I had OJ baby, healthy orange juice. Then I had a protein shake at lunch because, after the workout, I got to get the gains. I had a salad with dressing. And then I just ate whatever my mom made because I was living with my mom and dad because the economy was shit in 2010 and I had to live with mom and dad. Now, sometimes I would have a snack, but it'd be a healthy snack like some nuts or some beef jerky or something healthy, maybe like a Cliff Bar. But here's what I didn't count, and we'll get to this later as well. I was drinking like at least 4 or 5 beers a night because Call of Duty. You gotta play Call of Duty, and then you gotta Modern Warfare 2, man. You gotta play Call of Duty and drink beer. Yeah, duh. So yeah, we won't count those. Won't count those. But if you total up the calories that I had during that day, and I'm talking like a low range and a high range, because I don't know. I was guessing at what I was eating. I ate within a range of 2,690 calories to the high end that topped out at over 3,000. At this time in 2010, I was at my heaviest, 212 pounds. More than likely, 30 to 35% body fat. I wasn't strong, really. I didn't have a lot of muscle. I probably had maybe 125, maybe 125 pounds of lean mass, which would be bones, ligaments, tissue, organs, and my muscles. In total. The rest of it, all body fat. But I didn't think about those calories. I didn't care because I was working out. I was taking a protein shake. I was eating salad. I was eating healthy food. And my mom and dad didn't cook horrible food. But I didn't count. I had no idea what I was eating. No idea how much I was eating because I wasn't tracking. And I thought about this. In college, when I had a job in college, I lived paycheck to paycheck. And I had no idea where my money was going. Because number one, I didn't look at my bank account. Now, how I never overdrafted, don't ask me. But I thought if I just kept it out of sight, out of mind, it'd be all right. I would just live paycheck to paycheck. Like I knew how much money I sort of had in, but I didn't want to know where it was going. I didn't want to know that I was spending $10 or $12 on Taco Bell Friday and Saturday, that I was spending that much on beers out of the bar, or that much on beers for the weekend, or other things like weed. But I didn't want to think about that money I was taking out, what I was doing with it. No. Out of sight, out of mind. But here's the thing. Debt and calories are very similar. You can't get out of debt if you don't know where your money is going, and you can't succeed at fat loss if you have no idea what you're eating. I couldn't lose fat because I was eating more than I was burning. But I didn't know that. I just thought, oh, I'm eating a salad, it's healthy. Oh, I'm eating this sausage biscuit, which has protein because sausage. I'm eating this post-workout protein shake because protein, it builds muscles. Protein. But I didn't know how many calories I was taking. That's why I wasn't losing weight. Now, really, the third biggest mistake, and I mentioned it earlier, I was drinking 4 or 5 Yinglings a night. Now, Yingling has about 150 calories. So, like 4 or 5, you're looking at like 500 calories or more. And if I down the 12-pack in a weekend, that's like 1,000. Liquid calories are the biggest mistake a lot of people make when it comes to fat loss. And I'm talking like sugary beverages. Yes, even the healthy beverages, as I do quotation fingers that no one can see, the healthy beverages that you drink, they still have calories. The orange juice, sure, it's healthy, but it would probably be better if you just ate the orange because there's more fiber in it than there is if you actually drink the same amount of juice. Liquid calories matter. They're huge. I mean, you cannot lose the weight if you're eating 2,000 calories and consuming another 1,000 in booze, in sugary drinks, any of that stuff. You just can't do it. It's not going to happen. Now, the other problem with alcohol is that it's very easy to get really drunk and then spend $17 like I did once in college at Taco Bell. It's very easy. You get drunk, you're out with your friends, and the next thing you know, you have gone way over thanks to not being able to say no because you're wasted. But real quick, I just want you to understand this because I'm going to go on to mistake number 4 about liquid calories. A typical day in 2010 for me would consist of OJ in the morning. That's 220 calories because, you get the upsize at the meal, at breakfast. My post-workout shake, which I know some people are going to shake their heads and be like, oh, God, was a strawberry-flavored protein mixed with grape G2 Gatorade. Listen, don't knock it till you try it. It's actually pretty freaking good. But that's 150 calories in the Gatorade alone. We're not talking about the 200 in the protein or whatever was in it. We're talking about just the Gatorade. At my lunch, I might have a sweet tea. I have to use the McDonald's 32-ounce dollar sweet tea as a point here. That's 280 calories. Oh, and then if I'm gaming at night in 2010, 4 beers, 4 Yinglings come out to around 512 or 500 some odd calories. In total, I was drinking 1,162 calories. Now, if I consume that much today, I would be drinking 42% of my daily energy intake. 42%. 42% of your daily energy coming from liquids. I challenge anyone listening right now, record everything you eat for a week, everything you drink for a week, and then go back and look at how large of a percentage your calories come from liquids. Beer, even whiskey. Yes, I love whiskey, and I have mentioned numerous times how to fit things in, but just so you see the evidence, look at everything. Beer, wine, whiskey, lattes, if you get lattes, orange juice, energy drinks, healthy shakes, smoothies, whatever. Count everything that you drink that is not water or black coffee and see how many calories that comes out to. Now, in those days, 42% of my calories was basically an entire meal. Like, I could go to Chipotle and get a huge friggin' meal for 1,000 calories that would be packed with protein and keep me full, but I was drinking it. Huge mistake. Got to keep an eye on that. A good friend and mentor, John Romanello, has said before, the best way to lose weight and save money, stop drinking. Stop paying for juices, stop paying for fancy lattes, drink your coffee black. Stop buying liquid calories and you'll not only save money, but you'll lose weight. The 4th biggest mistake a lot of people make, and I made as well, was following the scale. I got on the scale thinking that it would reflect weight loss. that if I ate all of those things and did all of that, the scale would show that I was losing weight. But one thing that trip people up and really pushes you down into the realm of, well, I give up, I don't want to do this, is the scale, because there are so many factors that go into scale weight. Let me give you a few of those. Water retention. Water. If you ate a very carb-heavy meal the night before or had something that was very salty, your body's going to retain more water and you're going to see a weight gain. Poop. Yep. All the food in your bowels. Quick note, anytime you want to weigh yourself and see what you weigh post-poop. It's like 2 or 3 pounds sometimes that you can lose instantly. So food in your bowels. You might not remember that you ate a few hours ago. I mean, hopefully you remember, but that can affect your weight. So weight in the middle of the day or at night, you're going to be a little heavier because there is food still inside of your body being processed. The time of the day can depend. Some people can be affected by gravity pulling on you later on. Water moves around, your body moves around. If you've already eaten again and you've had some high carbs or something that's very salty, your body's going to hang on to that. So depending on the time of the day, whatever time of the day you pick, weigh yourself always at that time of the day. Women, where you are on your menstrual cycle. I'll be honest, I'm a guy, I don't know a lot about it. So ladies, please feel free to laugh and shake your head and be like, oh, typical. But I do know that, leading up to it, you can have some weight gain. One thing that I really try to tell a lot of my female clients is, wait until like a week after your period is over with to weigh yourself. Don't do it constantly because it's going to drive you nuts because you can see those fluxes in and around and during your period. Dehydration, booze can dehydrate you. Not drinking enough water can dehydrate you. So you can see a huge swing in that as well. Especially if you're dehydrated and then have a bunch of water and then weigh yourself, you're going to hold on to a little more water because your body's holding on to it. Eat a meal with a ton of salt. And increased or replenished muscle glycogen. So if you've been dieting, and this is something that happens when you're getting really lean, your muscles let go of glycogen. They're not filled all the way, which is why when you're trying to get really, really lean, you might not have that pump, that huge thing where your muscles are squeezing out of your skin. You might not have that because you're not getting a lot of carbs. So your muscle glycogen is not as filled. So you can see a weight regain because your muscles are refilling with water and refilling with glycogen. So there's a lot of things. It's a dirty, dirty liar. The scale is worse than Jar Jar Binks. And who likes Jar Jar Binks? So don't live by the scale. Live by making sure that you're continuing to get stronger, that you're hitting your calories, and then measure yourself with a tailor's tape and see, on the waist, right around where your navel is, on the hips, at the widest part of your butt, the chest. So ladies, under the armpits and right under the breast for the chest. And then, shoulders, arms, legs, you can use those, see where you're making changes. And as you see those numbers going down, you're going to feel a lot better and know that you're making progress as well, even though the scale might not show it. Also, photographs. I cannot tell you enough. Take photos front, side, and back every 4 to 6 weeks, and you'll see the progress there. You'll see it. The scale may not show up, but you will see it. Number 5, the biggest mistake a lot of people made, and I made as well, high levels of stress. Look, the one thing that really stresses me out, snakes and sharks. So I don't go anywhere near them at all. But most of us tend to spend far too many hours where our stress levels are through the roof. And this, of course, can lead to, hormonal issues, anxiety, and all of that. But it also raises our cortisol level. And cortisol is a fat storing hormone. Now, before you go all crazy and think that cortisol is bad, it's not bad because there are 2 types of stress, and cortisol is raised during both. There's eustress and distress, and cortisol is released during both. So eustress, eustress, actually helps you. It's the fight or flight, so it motivates you towards a goal. That's the stress that you want. When you work out, your body raises its cortisol level a little bit, It's higher because it's got the stress of weights. It's got the stress of moving more, of getting out of its comfort zone. And that's a good stress. That's the stress that you want. The bad stress is distress. Because when you're in distress, cortisol floats around your body like it's on a giant lazy river. And that stress can cause a huge array of health problems. And then once your cortisol gets all willy-nilly and out of funk, then everything else like insulin can also get wacky as well. And there's a ton of research on all of that. But eustress is the stress you put your muscles under when you're lifting weights, doing body weight, doing yoga, running, being physically active. That's a good stress. It's a stress that helps you grow. Distress is the stuff that stays in your system, stays on your mind. It can cause a whole lot of issues. Ways to get around that. Here's a few ways to reduce stress. Spend less time on social media. I'm dead serious. How many times you get stressed out on social media about some bullshit like the color of a dress? I know that was a long time ago. Political stuff or anything else that just makes you want to like punch a hole in the wall. Just pull back a little from social media. That'll help. Meditate. I am not a huge meditation person, but I have a lot of friends and colleagues who are, and I know some of you who listen are as well. So try apps like Headspace and Calm. With meditation, remember, you're not trying to be perfect. Come back to the breathing. Focus on your breathing. Your thoughts will wander. It will happen, but keep coming back to your breathing. There's no doing perfect. All you're really trying to do is breathe. Give your body more oxygen to help it regulate and help it bring down all of those stress levels. Number one thing I tell all of my clients, and I've told you guys before in a podcast, make the first 30 minutes of the day the most selfish time of the day for you. If you can start your day doing something that's positive for you, you can keep the stress a little bit lower. If you wake up in the morning and you're late and you're running around and you're trying to get kids ready and there's all this and there's all that, and you can already hear to my voice, that's what you feel like in the mornings. Make the first 30 minutes the time of the day that is imperative to you and adds value to your life. Walk more. Walking helps. Have more sex. Sex helps. Create a consistent sleep schedule. Drink less alcohol. Practice gratitude. And you can do that in the first 30 minutes as well. But think about the things you're grateful for. If you wake up in the morning, listen, I know what it's like to wake up and loathe going to the job that you have. But you woke up. I mean, you could have died, but you're breathing. And for the most part, you're probably in a pretty damn good country. Especially if you're in America. Yeah, we have our problems, and most developed nations do, but we're all doing pretty well. Like, things could be a lot worse. So be grateful for what you have, even the small things. Even the small things that you take for granted every day. Look at them and think, you know what? I'm grateful that right now I can speak to you through a microphone and record a podcast and you can listen to it. I'm grateful that you guys are listening. I'm grateful that the sun is shining. I'm grateful that breath is coming in my nose and out my mouth and all of that. And another way in this one is a way to reduce stress as well. Social media, pulling back from social media can help. And it's hard for a lot of people, but lose the negative people in your life. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around. And if you're around negative people, you're going to be a more negative person. I'm not saying jump in and like hang out with Tony Robbins all the time or anyone else who's positive or have positive people in your life, but work to rid yourself of negative people because if they're going to keep you down, they're going to keep your goals down, they're going to keep you down. Find people that you are inspired by, people you love to talk to, people that make you want to be better, and surround yourself with them. Books, podcasts, film, doesn't matter. 6th mistake that I made, and I talked about this earlier, thinking exercise is enough. Here's what I thought in 2010. 20 minutes of cardio on the treadmill, and then I would do 30 minutes of lifting. I'd have a salad at lunch, plus that protein shake. Boom! Shredsville, USA, baby! But here's the thing. The biggest mistake I made, and thousands, let's be honest, millions of people make, is you think you can out-train a bad diet. You can't. Sure, you can try. But unless you're a genetic freak or an athlete who plays half a dozen sports, out-training a bad diet isn't going to happen, especially in today's modern sedentary world. And look, I'm not going to lie. In 2010, my hope was that if I worked out after a few months, I'd be ripped, muscular, and sexy as fuck. But that's kind of like hoping that you'll send a tweet to Scarlett Johansson, and when she reads it, realizes that you, some dude or girl on the internet she's never met, is her soulmate. And then she books the first flight to wherever you live so she can confess her undying love to you. Yeah, you have a better chance of out-training a bad diet than that happening. But since the likelihood of either is astro-fucking-nomical, let's actually stick to the real world. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and people will tell you all of these things, and you will look at fitness trackers, and you will think, oh man, I had all these steps, I burned all these calories, I can eat this much. Look, the calories that those things tell you that you burned are really just a guesstimation. The calories that MyFitnessPal tells you it burned, a guesstimation. Your Apple Watch, a guesstimation. It's a guess. It's a guess. It has no clue. First and foremost, it goes back to tracking what you eat. It all starts with diet. And I know you hate to hear that, and I know everyone hates to hear that, but that's the truth. That's the truth. You could literally just track your food, eat less, and walk to and from work and around your house and do some certain activities and never exercise, and you can lose weight. Now, of course, you lose out on a ton of benefits, but it is possible. There's another reason those trackers are really bad for a lot of people, especially ones like MyFitnessPal. Because you record it in MyFitnessPal and you're like, I burned 500 calories. And then it tells you have 500 calories left over. So you eat back the calories that you think you burned. Except, here's the problem. That's like being in debt and being like, oh, I paid $25 on my credit card this month. I'm awesome. I should buy this $25 bottle of whiskey. You paid $25 and then spent $25. So now you basically just cancel that out. Same thing. If your tracker says you burn 400 calories and you go and have a 400 calorie piece of pizza, you just negated your fat loss. You're back at zero. Those trackers aren't accurate, so don't live by them. They are literally just a guess. And I was guilty of this. I thought that, oh man, I totally burned like 200 calories, so I can just like have this 200 calorie beer and I'm good. No. Don't trust those trackers. Don't trust something that tells you burned 1,000 calories. Exercise is not enough sometimes, and we all think that it is. It's got to start with a diet, and you got to be more active. That's the truth. If you want to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. You cannot out-train a bad diet, especially if you sit on your ass for 8 hours a day working at a computer. It's not going to happen. And that was one of my biggest mistakes that I made. But here's the biggest mistake. Hands down. My number one mistake, well, it's kind of actually been hiding under the surface since this entire talk started. And I'm sure that with some of these, you've been nodding your head in agreement. You're like, yeah, I've done that. Or, yeah, I can do that right now, Robbie. I got you. So if you've ever thought that healthy food just implied weight loss, that could be a mistake. If you've consumed 30% or more of your total calories from liquid, you're making a mistake. If you ever told yourself while doing something like eating vegan, being paleo, gluten-free, keto, doesn't matter, that, I can eat it because it's healthy and calories don't matter, mistake. Using the scale to determine your success, probably not going to work out so well. If you snuggled with stress all day and night, being kept warm by it, it's going to keep your cortisol levels high and make fat loss even tougher. Or if you've assumed that exercise was enough, there's all 6 mistakes. So what's the greatest one? What is the one that's happened? The biggest one, the biggest mistake that I made, and I know people make all the time. You don't give a fuck. Yeah, I said it. When I was trying to lose weight, making those 6 mistakes, I didn't give a fuck. And you've probably made those same mistakes. If you've made those mistakes, that's really what it comes down to. You don't give a fuck. And I know that's hard to hear, and that's me giving you a hard truth. But if you really cared, all those things that you know, the simple basics, staying in a calorie deficit, tracking the foods, knowing what you're ingesting, if you can do that and stick to your calorie goals, and continue being active in whatever way, whether that's running, walking longer, or lifting heavy weight and getting stronger and building muscle and doing all of that, you'll see success. But if you're just assuming that it's healthy and it's okay, if you're not tracking what you're eating, if you're drinking healthy foods or healthy shakes or smoothies or drinks or juices, and you're not tracking, then you don't know. And in all honesty, we tell ourselves that we care. We really do. We convince ourselves that we're not making a mistake, but we know. There's you know it. You've done it, because I've done it. I know. There's this little grain inside of you that's like, if I say I care, then I'll care, right? But I don't really care, because if you really cared, you would make those changes. I know that one thing people really fear with improving health and fitness is that they're like, but it's going to change me. But I don't want to change. The truth is, you have to change. Every hero has to change in their story. Luke Skywalker could have stayed on Tatooine, but to become a Jedi, he had to change. He had to not be Tatooine Luke anymore. He had to grow up a little bit. He had to learn his mistakes. He had to become something different. Not giving a fuck was my biggest mistake. There was a ton of information out there, a ton of things I could have done, and I didn't care. I didn't care because I just thought I was making the right choices. So I want to leave you with something. It's okay if you're not perfect. Fitness, weight loss, even this podcast and my business, it's all a journey. Everyone looks at a before and after and they think they want the end, but they don't think about all the struggle in the middle. It's okay not to be perfect. Make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do, and if you have a day where you screw up, you screw up. But giving a fuck and actually trying to attempt to achieve your goal is far better than convincing yourself that what you're doing is right and then never getting to where you want to be. I would rather you screw up and get up the next day and be like, nope, I'm going to get back to what works. Cool, I forgive myself. Than to try and be perfect and drive yourself nuts and convince yourself of things that aren't true and continue to make the same mistakes that I made. Those are the 7 mistakes that I made in the past. So here's what I would suggest you to do if you've made any of these. Spend 2 weeks tracking everything you eat and drink. Everything. And then I want you to look at the patterns and make changes to your diet. If you notice that you're drinking a lot of calories, like you drink 4 Coca-Colas a day, start slow, cut back to 3. And then cut back to 2. Then to 1. And then none. Give yourself time. Don't try to go from 4 to 0. Cut back slowly. It's a journey. Take your time. Level up. Like any video game that's ever played. You don't go from level 0 to 100 overnight. You got to go 1 through all those other numbers and grind it out. So grind it out. Get better each step of the way. Now, if you track your diet for 6 months or a year, you're going to see how long-term habits develop. You're going to find the foods that you enjoy, the foods that you tend to eat and rely on. That's good to know. Again, like I said, consume less liquid calories. You can switch to Diet Coke if you need to, or Coke Zero. I enjoy a good cherry Coke Zero. If you absolutely need soda. Now, some people would disagree with me on that, and the reason that they would disagree is studies show that people tend to eat more, consume more calories when they drink diet or zero-calorie beverages, and most of that is because we consciously tell ourselves a falsehood that we can just eat more because we're not drinking, and we just end up eating more because we try to convince ourselves that we're drinking zero-calorie sodas. No, that's why you should track. That's why you have to track. That's why you have to track. So track. Again, I'd rather you drink water, add more water into your diet, add more water into what you do, but cut back. If you absolutely have to have a Coke, switch the diet. And if you can switch to having 4 Diet Cokes instead of 4 regular Cokes and then cut back on the diet, fine, do it that way. You got to know that it takes more than just exercise. Exercise alone is not enough. Diet is 70 to 80% of your success. It sucks. I know everyone hates to hear that, but that's the truth. I wish I could make it sexier. I really do. I wish I could tell you there was one thing you could do every day. I mean, I can. The one thing you got to do every day is be in a calorie deficit and track what you're eating to make sure that you're on point, but that doesn't sound sexy. That doesn't sell books. But that's the truth. Stop looking at the scale. Don't worry about the scale. Focus on hitting your calories. Focus on staying in a deficit. Focus on getting stronger, lifting weight. If you're a runner, then focus on getting a little further. If you do yoga, then focus on going a little longer or challenging yourself in different ways. Focus on constantly improving in some way, physically, one way or another. And calories matter, period. If your goal is to shred away body fat, calories matter. So, if you can spend 6 months following those things that I outlined, you're going to see mistake. You're going to see success. Those mistakes will go away. Spend 6 months following those. 6 months tracking everything you eat and drink, consistently getting better with your workouts, progressing in one way or another, and you'll see progress. You will see progress. That I am positive of, because that's what I did. I had to let these mistakes go. But they're mistakes that I made, and I know for a fact that you've probably made as well or are making right now. And if you are making them, then I want you to reach out to me, sidequestfitness@gmail.com. Be like, Robbie, I'm making this mistake. I want you to own up to it. Tell me you're making the mistake, and let's talk real quick about how we can help you move past that and start making the right choices and start progressing and achieving your goals. All right, guys, that's the episode for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Now get out there and kick ass at life.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records, and with the help of the guests you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key bamf right here. You wanna meet him, there's no better way to greet him than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.